Now everybody wants some blast of magic, 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 magic. I got the magic in me.
Welcome back to Bob's Magic Emporium. Time for the next all-new Magician 101, the show for all magicians. Before we get to the questions this week, we have a lot of questions, but I got a couple things to go over. I want to first say, if you've been living under a rock the past few days, you don't know about my new Sunday show that's starting up this coming Sunday called The Final Countdown, in which I'll be counting down the top 5 best in magic. Thank you to Richie Peters for that suggestion for my new Sunday show. Thank you. And also, I want to talk really quickly about my social media links, which is all in the description down below. I'm kind of really doing a social media campaign, which I'm trying to push my social media stuff. Follow me, like me, do all that stuff on social media. And also, go to my website, which is the first link in the description down below. Click on it, and if you go to the bottom of the first page, you're going to see a sign in or sign up button. Sign up for my website. That way, on the very last page of my website, you can post in the forums, because there's a lot of forum on there to talk about my channel, just general discussion or general magic or game show discussion, or discuss about any certain show you really happen to like the most, like this show or any of the other ones that I do, including the Final Countdown. And one more thing before we get to the questions is the question deadline. When to submit your questions. I want to bring this up because I had to go back and I had to refilm one of my shows, Trick Questions, a few weeks ago, because I had it all filmed, and then somebody submitted a question during the middle of the night, and I was like, oh, I had to go back and refilm it. Now, most of the time on Wednesdays I don't have to work, unless it's a major holiday like Valentine's Day or Christmas I have to work. Normally I'll film Magician 101 late morning on Wednesday. So I'll film it late morning, get it uploaded about, right after I film it. But some days when I have to work, I have to film Magician 101 the night before. So all Magician 101 questions have to be in by 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Tuesday night. So Tuesday night, Eastern Standard Time, all questions have to be in. Also, for Trick Questions, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Wednesday night, because I work on Wednesdays all the time. Like, that's never a day off for me. I always work on Thursdays, so I film Trick Questions the night before around 9 o'clock. So make sure to post your questions by 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Wednesday night for me, just so I don't have to go back and refilm the show. Alright, and we have a lot of great questions, so post your questions down below for next week. I'll give them an answer. First question comes from Philip E. What do you think about Card Swap 2.0 by me? And what is your favorite movie besides The Wizard of Oz? The Wizard of Oz is my all-time favorite movie. It's number one. It's 100% up there. My second favorite movie, I think, is Mary Poppins. It's a great piece of film. And if you haven't seen Saving Mr. Banks, you don't know what went into that movie. To actually get the rights to do Mary Poppins, because the author, Pamela Travers, did not want to give the book up because it was so special to her. And really, Mary Poppins was about her childhood. So, Mary Poppins is a great piece of film, and it's the last movie that Walt Disney actually worked on personally. So, it's got a little bit of history there, too. And also, my third favorite movie, I'm sorry. I really am sorry for all these people out here. I know it's kind of a cop-out right now, but Frozen. I love Frozen. I didn't think I'd love it as much. When my assistant manager, my old assistant manager, let me borrow Frozen. She was like, you gotta see it. You haven't seen it yet. You want to borrow it? I was like, sure. And I'm like, it's a Disney movie. I'm going to love it because I love all Disney movies. But I didn't think I would love it as much as I did. It's a fantastic movie. If you haven't seen Frozen because you're like, it's too overplayed. I hear Let It Go 50 times a day. I recommend watching it. I had a coworker, she never saw it at first. And she was like, I just don't want to see a snowman against a white background for the whole movie. And she watched it and she was like, oh my god, that was great. So, I gotta tell you, it's a great movie. My favorite. Alright, and Card Swap 2.0. That was... I watched it before I started filming, because when I went back and read the questions, I was like, Card Swap, did I watch that? And I did watch it earlier, but I forgot what it was. I watched it, and oh my lord, it was cool. What basically the Card Swap is, you take two cards, you have them face down, one goes in the middle, face up. They see the card, you pull it out, and it's a completely different card. I mean, you literally pull it, no funny moves, you just pull, and it's a different card. I gotta tell you, I don't know how it works, and that was pretty flipping cool. That's all I gotta say. That's all I can really say. It was so cool and visual. Like, they see it. I know you're not the kind of person that would do camera tricks. There's no editing, no camera tricks involved. You pull it straight out, and boom, the card has changed. Amazing. I loved it. I thought it was great. Fantastic. I cannot wait to actually have you do something for that trick. Either put a tutorial online or sell it somewhere, because I might pick that up if you sell it. If the price is right, of course. So definitely, I can't wait to see it. Great job. Very visual effect. Go check it out on his channel. Because I can talk about it till the cows come home, but it's not going to do anything for you unless you actually go check it out on his channel. Because that's how it's very visual and very cool. Alright, next question comes from Richie Peters. Have you ever created any effects? I have to laugh at this question because I was just talking to one of our other question people last night about this very same topic. First of all, no, I have not created anything. But I was talking to our other question person about this last night, and I was saying, I don't think you have to be, I don't have the creative ideas to actually come up with something for an effect, but I don't think you have to be a creator / performer. You can be just a creator or just a performer. In my opinion, you don't have to be both. So for me, I'm just a performer. Just a performer. And to be honest, a layman's not going to know if you created this effect or not. So I don't think it really matters in the terms of, oh, I'm going to do this so the layman know, hey, I created all the effects in my show. I don't think you have to do that. For me, I just love performing magic, and also, as you can tell, collecting magic as well. Wayne Carter has the next question. Have you ever used live animals in your show? No. Personal preference there. Some guys don't use live animals. Some guys do. Some guys swear by live animals, and they're like, oh, you have to use a rabbit if you do a kid's show. You have to use doves. I don't. Personal preference. One, because I don't think I could take care of a rabbit. I know rabbits are pretty easy, but they also stink a lot too. So, and I have a dog already, and that's enough for me. And also, I've heard a lot of horror stories from kids magicians who come in with an animal crate, and kids know there's the rabbit in there, and they want to see it. So, the only thing though is I know when Barry Taylor of Barry's Magic Shop did I think it was my 8th birthday, I didn't see any pet carriers, so I don't know where the rabbit was stored, but. When he did the rabbit effect. But for me, I don't use any rabbits. And the show, and my kids' show, I've never had anybody say, oh, you don't use rabbits, so I'm not going to hire you. It says clearly, when I book the shows right on my website, it says no live animals. And also, you don't know if somebody could be allergic to rabbit. I mean, it's weird, but people can be allergic to anything, and you don't want to bring a rabbit and somebody, break out in hives because they're allergic. That would look bad for business. All right. Tyler Lunsford Magic has the next few questions and comments. He says, I'm going to submit some to the wire, but they might be on my website very soon. I'm going to have to say, no, they're not, Tyler, because his next comment says, can you mention my major announcement, Invent Tricks Now for Sale, on his website. So they're not going to be on their website very soon. They're actually on there right now. If you want to see any of the tricks I've reviewed the past few weeks, like Pretty Clip or any of the other tricks, you need to go check it out on his website. And they're a really good price. I think they're like $4.99, so they're not that expensive. That's about what you pay to go eat at McDonald's. So go to get one of Taylor's tricks. And also, he's also going to have some other tricks coming out too. And he wants me to review his newest creation, Distortion, by me, video on my channel. First of all, go check out, this is another very visual piece of magic. So I recommend definitely going to check it out on his channel because I can't do the trick justice when I talk about it. It's very visual. What you do is you have a card box and the flap has a card written on it. You shake the box and it changes into the spectator selected card. Very visual piece of magic. Now, I am going to say that for this trick, I did not like the demo. I think because the camera was too close and there was a few demo problems that I didn't really like. But other than that, the core trick itself was great. A very visual piece of magic to shake it and it just changes right there. I'm a sucker for very visual magic like that. I love very visual magic where you get something to shake and it changes or something like that. I love it. So it's great in that aspect. The one thing I will say is with the demo, I don't know if you have to put the card box in your pocket like you did or if you could just set it on a table or something. But to me, I felt like, if you have to put it in your pocket, we couldn't see your pocket. So, I don't know if you maybe would have done a deck switch, a deck box switch. You could have switched boxes. Highly unlikely, but that's something that could cross people's mind when they're watching your demo is, oh, maybe he has another box in there. Maybe. And then also, there was an awkward handling. I can't remember if you sent it to me on Instagram, the video you sent to me on Instagram, or if it was in the demo. But there was one where you were kind of like, I think it was in the demo, you were showing that there was a prediction on there, and the way you were holding it was very awkward. And also, that was awkward, but that could have just been, the way you were holding it and all that. But the main trick itself, though, very visual, very cool, and I think that's probably, I'm not going to say your best one you have done so far, but it's probably number 2. The one with the cell phone last week, I can't remember the name of it. I'm so sorry. That's terrible of me to not remember the name of that trick. But the one where the cards were in order to take a picture of, that's probably my favorite. That is probably my favorite. This is my second favorite, I do think. All right, and so far, because I know he's putting out more stuff he's told me, so can't wait. All right, and Brendan Shepard has the final question. What do you say to someone who calls you out on a gimmick? Nothing. I say nothing. Normally, if they see a gimmick, they're not heckling you, as I have learned in my magic many times from different magicians. If they call you out on a gimmick, it's because you flashed it and you're not performing it the best you can. They are basically helping you in your magic. When somebody heckles you, 9 times out of 10, they're helping you. Sometimes in a very rude way, yes, but if they're calling you out on a gimmick, that means that they're seeing something they're not supposed to see. And that just means you need to go back and practice that gimmick a lot more so you do not flash. Now, again, I'm not saying all hecklers are heckling you to help you in your show. Some of them just want to ruin your show, yes, so don't flood the comments below saying all hecklers are bad. I know some people just want to mess with you during your show. I get that. But that's for the most part, most hecklers just want to tell you, hey, you're doing this wrong, just giving you a little friendly bit of advice. If they call you out on it, though, don't just go, okay, well, bye, forget you then. No, say, oh, I'm so sorry. You can even make up some excuse saying, I'm still practicing this trick. I brought it out here on the street just to try it out, see what it's like. And I've done that before, where there was a trick where I actually did take out a new trick, and it was right in between 2 tricks I knew exactly how to do. That's another thing, too. If you're out on the street and you're doing street magic, nestle a new trick in between 2 tricks you have down cold. For me, I'm just going to I don't remember exactly what 2 I did, but let's say I did Forced Outcome, the new trick, and then Dirty Pool. Dirty Pool and Forced Outcome I can do cold. I can do it in my sleep. The new trick I nestled in the middle, they caught how it was done, and I was like, I'm sorry, it's a new trick. I brought it out my first time actually doing it live for somebody. And they understood. They were like, no, it's okay. And they actually said to me, you want to try it again? And I was like, no. I'm going to go home and practice a little bit more. I just wanted to see if I could do it out here on the street. And they were very understanding. And then I said, but the next trick, it's one of my favorites, and I know exactly how to do it. Let me show you. It's going to knock your socks off. I did it. It was amazing. It wasn't Dirty Pool. It was something amazing like that. And they were very impressed and were like, that was so cool. And they were very cool. So if you have a good personality too, that also helps. If you're on the street and you have a new trick and they call you out on it or they call you out on a gimmick, and if you're very personable and you're a very good personality, they're not really going to be like, okay, well you're a terrible magician. They're going to be like, oh, you want to try it again? I understand you messed up. It's okay. You want to try it again? I've had that happen many times on the street where people have actually said, do you want to try that again? And I've been like, no, it's fine. I'm going to practice a little bit more. And normally I do use the excuse. Even if it's a trick that I've had for a year, I'll still say it's kind of new. So I kind of lie in that aspect, and people usually take pity on me. They usually take pity on me. But for the most part, if they call you out on a gimmick, just apologize and say sorry. Even if it's a new trick, that's even better, because you can go, I'm sorry, it's a new trick, and they're like, no, not a problem. Then you can go on. But always to have something you know how to do cold after. That way, they don't just say, oh, well, that guy's a terrible magician. He couldn't do his trick, That way, if you have something afterwards, you can say, but this one's even better because it's one of my favorites to do. And then you do it, it's great, and that's that. All right, let's go for this week's Magician 101. Great questions this week. I love doing this show just because there's so many great questions. It always just makes me happy to do this show. Thank you guys so much for watching, and make sure to post your questions down below for next week. I'll give them an answer, and I'll see you next Wednesday right here for another all-new Magician 101. If you'd like to see more awesome content, be sure to hit the subscribe button down below. New videos are posted every day of the week. Also, check out my website and register so you can post in the forums. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram, like me on Facebook, add me to your Google Plus circles, and check out my merchandise store to pick up some awesome swag. 444RR, game shows, magic, and more.